Yes, good evening. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining. This is the Nigerian FC Podcast. I'm just waiting for Smith Layi to join me and then we'll get into the conversation very quickly. If you are watching on YouTube, please like the video so that we can get more reach. If you're watching on YouTube, please like the video. Please. Someone said this your subscription mode has made me subscribe to your channel. If you're on YouTube, in order to leave a comment, you just have to be subscribed to the channel for a minute. So there's nothing that should cause you to unsubscribe. If you want to engage with us on YouTube, just make sure you are subscribed to the channel. The reason we do that is because we don't want spam comments. So I'm not exactly sure what the issue is, Evans. But yes, please let me know where you guys are joining from all around the world. Let me know where you're joining from. This is the Nigerian FC Podcast live. Good evening, guys. As always, I'm your host, AyoT, and I'm waiting for my co-host, Smith Layi, to join me and get into today's conversation. We have a lot to discuss today. What happened to my camera? Okay, I am back. Thank you. Good evening, guys, wherever you're joining from. Thank you for joining. This is Nigerian FC Podcast. Just to give you guys a rundown of topics that we're going to cover today while I wait for Smith Layi to join me. I'll give you guys a rundown of, some of the interesting things that we're going to be covering. We're talking Wilfred Ndidi today. Wilfred Ndidi, will he stay? Will he leave? Is he going to be a Leicester City player next season? Is he going to make a move? We're discussing that. Abdul Moshood on X, I see you. Hi, Abdul Moshood. Let me know where you're joining from. So yes, Wilfred Ndidi, we're going to be discussing. We're going to be talking about Victor Osimhen's transfer situation. Oh yes, sorry, turn off the music. Thank you, I forgot. So Victor Osimhen's transfer situation. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the Olympics list for the Super Falcons. Of course, some drama here and there. Smith Layi and I will tell you who we think should make the squad. I see that latecomer is here. But yes, welcome,
Yeah,
Smith Layi.
thank you for having me. Apologies for coming late.
Yeah, see
Just
that our people came quick. They said more that they want to hear the Super Falcons talk, so people are ready.
okay. I
But
know.
yeah,
Some of them like gossip.
yeah. We just finished watching that Turkey game. That game was
That game
an interesting one.
was very
Um,
interesting
but
game.
yeah. So yes, I said Olympic team. We're going to talk about Lookman as well. We're going to talk about Finidi George. We're going to talk about some other transfers or transfer rumors. And I added one topic late to the schedule for today because I watched a video, an interview that Sunday Olisheh did today, and I was like, there were one or two things that he said, and I'm like, we can talk about because they can make for interesting conversation or debate. Somebody
Yes.
said we forgot to air natural transfer. There's nothing concrete to talk about with air natural right now, unless we just want to just guess.
Yes.
I see somebody is even asking that the podcast with Olisheh, is that something you can touch? That's exactly what I was just saying. I watched the interview today. I'm like, he made some interesting points, said some controversial things, and of course, would be interesting to talk about. So Smith Lai, let us get into it. Please, again, if you're on YouTube, please like the video. Please share. If you want to chat with us, just make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Let us get more people tuned in. Let us get more people engaging with us, and please help us share this fantastic content that we work so hard to bring you guys. We would really appreciate it. Okay, like let's start with Wilfred Ndidi. Wilfred
Yes.
Ndidi, Super Falcons midfielder, one of the captains of the squad, one of the players that has been in the team for a long time now. Of course,
Mhm.
was part of the Leicester City team that regained promotion to the English Premier League after they got relegated.
Yes.
And there've been, some rumors. There's been talk about, is he going to stay? Is he going to leave? What exactly is the situation over there? Of course, like I mentioned, champion with Leicester City, one of their players that has served them well for a long time. So, Smith, what can you tell us about Ndidi's situation? What is the latest news surrounding this guy?
So according to a very close source, a football insider, he said that he already responded to the proposal by Everton. So that tells you that maybe probably is actually what he's thinking about joining Everton. But that was very interesting. We're also hearing
Hmm.
rumors that he might be renewing his contract with Leicester City. But one thing that is sure is that he's going to stay in the Prem. So I think his preference is to
Hmm.
be in the Premier League, which I actually want. There also been rumor of him going to Lyon before. I don't think the Lyon is really on the cards. I think that
Hmm.
he would like to stay in England, maybe for family reasons. But actually was likes to stay in England. So I saw today too that this all has been taken to Chelsea.
Yeah.
In that midfield, he used to be what's it called? This guy is he Winks? Winks
Yeah,
Ndidi.
Harry Winks.
Harry Winks, thank you. So, but that means that Maresca prefer to work with this Rio than the other two than the other two midfielders. So, it's I just wish him the best of luck. I thought that it should be the one that they taken to Chelsea. I didn't know that it's
Hmm.
go with this Rio that will actually was follow him to Chelsea. But good thing that he's got getting proposal. Let's see maybe the Everton they can actually what can get over the line.
Hmm. Okay, I will say honestly, based on the information that I've seen, I don't know. I'm leaning towards believing that he's going to stay at Leicester City.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I'm believing. I
Mm-hmm.
will say it's also partially because of where the reports are coming from. It's
Mm-hmm.
very interesting because you said somebody that is a good source typically is saying, hey, he might be moving. But, I don't want to name him, but let me just give him his credits because I'm referencing him. All Nigeria soccer, the guy is a very, annoying guy sometimes. He likes fighting. But, but, he tends to have information correct about Nigerian players,
Mm-hmm.
tends to have correct information, and he put it out there that he can say with certainty that Wilfred Ndidi has agreed to renew his contract at Leicester City. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's because he's speaking directly to Ndidi's representatives.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's because he's speaking to Ndidi himself.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, oh, he can say it with certainty that Ndidi is going to stay, and because he is somebody that he loves shouting when he's right,
Mm-hmm.
and he knows that because of how he makes noise when he's right with his stories, people always come for him if he happens to be wrong. So for
Mm-hmm.
him to say that he's so sure is making me believe that potentially indeed he's going to stay. But we have to wait and see what happens. I personally am also fine with him staying at Leicester City, to be honest. He's going to at least know that he's going to be a starter there. I don't know how many players they're going to sign. We have to see. Obviously, they just sold one player to Chelsea, like you mentioned. Um, but I think if he stays, he's a steady Eddie player. Leicester City are the kind of team that have enough ambition. Their owner is quite a good guy that likes to invest in the club as much as he can. So they should have enough quality to potentially stay up. So I'm fine if Ndidi goes. Like you mentioned, rather if he stays, like you mentioned, even if he does go, I think for sure he's going to stay in the Prem. He's settled in England. His family is in England. Maybe if he like, oh, if Fulham come now, he can say, let me move away from Leicester. Maybe I go London, go, go enjoy myself,
Yeah.
things like that. But I think Ndidi is happy in the Prem. I think he's a good player. He's a Premier League player. He's been there. He's done it before. And yeah, um, it'll be interesting to see what happens. You guys in the chat, let us know very quickly what would your preference be. Do you want Ndidi to stay at Leicester City? Do you want him to move to a different club in the English Premier League, or maybe even some people might be thinking that he should just move out of England altogether, and go to Spain or go to France or something. So yes, let us know what you guys think in the comments very quickly. Should Ndidi stay? Should Ndidi go? Somebody said Chelsea don't need Ndidi for now. Of course, Chelsea already have Caicedo. They have these guys. So obviously, Ndidi is not really somebody that they are looking at right now. And
Yeah.
obviously, Chelsea too with the current Chelsea management. If you are not 24 and under, they are not really interested in signing you right now. you
Yes.
know.
No.
So
Yes.
those guys. Somebody said few more years to secure his papers too. England is lucrative. That's
Mm-hmm.
another factor. Of course, if he can get his British citizenship and know that more secure his children's future, all that kind of things.
Yeah.
Always a positive. I see we're getting more and more people on YouTube. Thank you guys for joining. Please make sure you like the video if you are on YouTube. If you want to engage with us, all you have to do is just subscribe to the channel and you'll be able to comment as much as you want. Um, okay, so let me see what other people are saying. Somebody said the coach Leicester City signed is not encouraging. Um, it's better to stay. Age is catching up with him. I think indeed he's just 26. I think indeed he's just 26 or 27,
20.
maybe. So I mean, age is supposed to be getting to the peak of his powers right now, if anything. So he should be getting to the best that he would ever be.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said throwback to the days when he was being compared to Kante. Times change quickly. Hopefully, he has a spectacular season and could still possibly make a big move to a big team. I mean, Kante is a very very once in a generation type of player. To be honest, the reason why he was getting compared to Kante was because they signed him quote unquote to replace Kante. So that's kind of why he was getting compared. But Kante, almost nobody can be Kante. That's just the reality. Kante is a once in a generation type of player. He's not somebody that you come by so often. But
Yeah.
I think most people are saying he should stay. People are saying maybe if a better team comes, then he can move. Somebody said he should go to Italy, maybe check something. um, Jide says Everton will be a better move. He definitely will get the nod there. Ghana is off of age. Onana might leave, and it is definitely going to be a starter at Everton. Potentially, who knows what Everton will be planning, but Everton is also a steady Eddie team. The only thing is that for the past few years, Everton have been fighting relegation, so I don't know if Ndidi wants to go and join that fight again. Jide says Leicester will bring in new players. He might be rivaled in that position, but for sure he'll be starting at Everton. Leicester will for sure bring in new players. I think, but if he can start at Everton, there's no reason to say he cannot start at Leicester.
Manchester, yeah.
Because Leicester is currently a new team in the Prem. Everton is a team that has been in the Prem for some years now. So
Yes.
if you believe that he can start at Everton, I see no reason why you wouldn't believe that he can start at Leicester, regardless of who they bring. Leicester is not going to sign Rodri tomorrow, or they're not going to sign some world class midfielder to come and rival him. Anybody
Mhm.
that they are signing is going to be somebody that is around in his level at most, you know.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
but yeah, so that's it on Wilfred Ndidi. Let's move forward. Somebody said move to Super Falcons. You people, you people are not patient. When you're watching TV, do you tell them, leave this topic, jump to the next one? We have a running order, we have a schedule. We'll
Mhm.
get there. Don't worry. Just relax a little bit. We'll get there. Okay, so that's it on Wilfred Ndidi's potential move. Just keeping it on transfer talk for now. Let's move to another player, another Super Eagles player. In fact, the star boy of Nigeria, the person that has been the topic of so many conversations in the past few weeks. I'm talking about Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen, of course, is still expected to leave Napoli this season based on everything that we know. Even the new coach of Napoli, has come out and said, hey, the club has an agreement with him. He is going to leave. I know that I'm not going to be able to use him. The question now is, where exactly is Victor Osimhen going to? That's the question now. Who is going to sign him? We already heard that Napoli have said, okay, 120 million is a bit much. They've accepted 120 million is a bit much. We'll bring it down to 100. Some people are saying that they'll be willing to bring it down to 80. But you know, nobody still knows exactly what's happening. So Smith Layi, we've heard that PSG, we've heard that a number of Premier League clubs, are interested in Victor Osimhen's signature. For you, what do you think could be the right move for Victor Osimhen? And what are your thoughts on just all the transfer news around him?
No, for me, I think one thing that is sure, as I said this in the last podcast, that Victor Osimhen will not be a player of Napoli next season. So about transfer going down and everything is business. It's not Osimhen's business. It's the club's business. So if the club want to sell him for 120, they are bringing in that. It's not Osimhen that is determining. They're saying, oh, sell me for this. Or no, it's the club that is trying to do business. For example, now Mbappe actually left for free. So in my own opinion, I just think that they will do business. I think Napoli wants to get some money on Victor Osimhen. It's their prize asset. They want to get some money
Yeah.
for Victor Osimhen. And I think, according to Fabrizio Romano, that is very close to the parties involved in this transfer. He said that Premier League is the preferred destination for
Oh,
Victor Osimhen. So, though I've been hearing from a very close source too, that he's been asking about the city of love. How is it like there and everything? But it's just been asking. Someone that is asked now. So I will not go into details about that.
don't worry, we know.
We just know that he actually was asked. So for me, I just think that if you look at the whole thing now, I don't think Saudi Arabia is the destination now. In my own, I think the people that likes to win the job, I think they will look for a way to sign Victor Osimhen.
Hmm, hmm.
Yes, but
Okay, so no, finish your thoughts.
sorry, people that win the shop. Let me just say it, Arsenal. I don't think you win the shop again now because you signed Declan Rice. At least you didn't say £1 no complete. The way you missed
Hmm.
out on other transfers. At least you signed Declan Rice. maybe you will. So, but in my own personal opinion, I just think that that place might be the destination for Victor.
Mm,
I'm hearing that there'll be rumors too that Eric Tian too wants a very imposing forward. I can
mm,
dominate defenders too. He's trying to send the Denmark boy, the Oibok, to back to Syria to see maybe he can actually get Victor Osimhen, because I just think that I've got Victor Osimhen, but I'm not really sure. Maybe Victor Osimhen we want to play in the Europa League.
mm.
I'm not sure. I think that Ateta is a big fan, and I think that Osimhen is an upgrade on Jesus, Gabriel Jesus.
Mm. Okay. But I guess I'll ask you this question: if Osimhen joins Arsenal, is he really competing with Gabriel Jesus, or is he competing with Kai Havertz?
See, Kayavas is just a placeholder. The reason why Kayavas is playing is because Nketiah and Jesus, they're not delivering.
Mm,
I think Kayaba can play off the striker very, very well. He does that one very well. And that's actually what probably his best position. You cannot say Kayaba is dominating. We have seen situations that Arsenal they were on back foot this season, and you are now expecting they were actually was on back foot this season, and you were now expecting them to hold up the ball up front, try and bring others to to play and everything, and it's not doing that.
mm.
But but when Arsenal, when they actually when they
So
are
that
dominating,
your mic is moving too much.
okay. So when Arsenal, when they actually were dominating, I think Albert is actually very important for them. So in my own personal opinion, I just think that Arsenal lost the league
Mm.
because of the some games that they did not dominate that should have won. Even without playing well, few chances. So I think he's trying to correct that. I know Simba is very good at smash and grab.
Mm.
If you remember the Napoli winning season against Roma, smash and grab, bam, all
Yeah.
those smash and grab. Yes, he's very good at that.
Mm. It's interesting. Arsenal, I've said it on this podcast before that I don't want Osimhen to go to Arsenal because I don't want Arsenal to have that kind of striker.
Mhm.
But there also, is the question about style of play. You know, Arteta's Arsenal is a team that moves the ball around. They pass the ball around a lot. Their striker links up with the team. And can Osimhen really play that style? Because when we've seen Osimhen play for Lille, where he banged in a lot of goals, where we've seen him play for Napoli, where he banged in a lot of goals, where we see him play for Nigeria, where he's banged in quite a number of goals as well. Osimhen is not really a player that links up with the team. He doesn't play shots, one touch passes. He doesn't play 1-2s. Osimhen is more so you put the ball for him to chase. He runs into the space. He finishes. You put the ball in the air. He fights with the defenders to score a goal. Maybe that's what Arsenal need. Maybe, but do you think his style will fit Arsenal's current system?
Can Alan dribble? Can he combine with this thing? That was what he was saying about Alan too. That he cannot do all this play. That is the
Mm,
one limiting Man City. But who is the top scorer this season?
mm,
So all those theory. A coach will look for a way. Don't forget that it's not a Nigerian coach that will say, a coach will look for a way. He's well informed. He knew the strength of Victor Osimhen. If you ask him now that if he's bringing Victor Osimhen, he knows exactly what Victor wants to come and do. So, in my opinion, I just think that if Victor joins Arsenal, go be money misroad. I
mm,
just think that he's someone that can actually call me. See, Arsenal, all those they don't do years after years. What do you lead to? You need someone that can come here and put the ball at the back of the net, dominate them
mm.
aerially. The only person that scores their headed goal mostly is the guy from the back from Brazil. What's his name again? Is it
Gabriel.
Gabriel? But if you have two imposing figures like Gabriel and Victor Osimhen in the box for corner kicks, they have been hailing their set piece coach this last season that he did a very good job on that corner kick. You will see this time around that Victor will score a lot of goals. So in my opinion, Victor even got a better footwork than Alan. I think we saw the way. So forget to see. I believe that Victor Osimhen will play well there.
I will say, I think it would be a case of, like you mentioned, the team would have to make sure that they adapt to him a little bit, and
Yes.
Osimhen would also need to, I think, change his style of play. In the sense that Osimhen will have to realize that, okay, I'm no longer in a club where I need to be running left, I need to be running right, I need to be going everywhere, trying to make everything happen. I can just relax, stay in the box, stay around the box. Let Odegaard do the work. Let Bukayo Saka do the work. Let Martinelli do the work, and they will just feed me, and I will just tap the ball in. I will just finish. He will have to adapt and realize that, see, just calm down. Let them do the work. Because that's why, if you see like Haaland, for example, most of the time they put it on a plate for him. He finishes the chance.
He finishes the chance.
And that's it. So I also think there's no reason why Osimhen cannot do well at Arsenal. Both parties will just have to adapt to each other. Osimhen will have to adapt to Arsenal to realize that he needs to change. And Arsenal will also realize that, okay, we need to change a little bit for this, our striker. But when you have a striker that can score goals like the way Victor Osimhen scores goals, like the way we've seen him score goals in the past 2 seasons, and even this last season that he didn't have his best season, but he still scored about 17 or 20 or something goals, it's just that for his standard, it seemed like he did not do that well. But for any other person's standard, he had a very good year.
Very good year.
So I think if they adapt to each other, there's no reason why he cannot succeed. The only thing that I will say is that, me personally, I think I want to see Osimhen in Paris. But I think it comes down to Osimhen's personal ambition. The Premier League is a league that he has been watching since he was a child in Nigeria. We know that he liked Chelsea, he liked the Drogba, so I'm sure it's probably a dream for him to play in the Premier League. It's something that he has dreamt of and he would like to achieve. But with Paris, obviously, what he gets in Paris is he continues to play for one of the strongest teams in the country. He has a chance to continue to win trophies on a consistent basis. He has a chance to consistently play in the Champions League, trying to win the Champions League, even though they'll probably not win it anytime soon. But at least he has a chance to continue that. The other thing that we'll have to say is that if he joins PSG, there will be a lot of pressure on him. That one is fact. Because PSG just let Mbappe go. And if they sign another player for, let's say, 80 million, 100 million, obviously Osimhen is not Mbappe. But fans are going to have expectation that you are going to come and produce. Do I think he can produce? Yes. Does he know the French league already? Yes, he does. He has chopped that league before. So me, I would like to see him in Paris. But if Osimhen has the ambition of the Premier League, if he wants to play in England, then that's probably where he will go to. I just don't want Arsenal to get a striker like Victor Osimhen, because I feel like, if Arsenal gets him, I got to every them small.
You have to, sometimes when Nigerian players score, you go live briefly. So now, if Victor Osimhen score against Chelsea, you have to go live to celebrate that Victor does scores. So your allegiance will have to be divided until you are converted to a proper Arsenal fan.
Interesting one. I see a lot of people are saying, PSG have 2 strikers already. Somebody said if Victor joins Arsenal, he will finish as the Premier League highest goal scorer ahead of Haaland.
I agree.
Big one. Can
I just give you 2 reasons for that?
Okay.
I just believe that sometimes if you watch the way Arsenal wingers play, the most inverted sometimes, when the guy from Brazil, but let it go, he come back again, try to cross, that's how you do. We have to go to the left. But all those one-time ball, Arsenal doesn't play it. If Victor is there, if it comes to the wing, one time, whip it, you will see that they will be playing those type of balls for Victor. So that makes Saka unpredictable. Okay, so no, they stand a lot of opportunities when Victor actually joins Arsenal.
Ola Lucas said, "Na bad belle they worry Ayo." I don't deny it when it comes to Arsenal. I'm bad belle. Okay, let's move on to the next topic just for the sake of time. Once again, please, if you are watching on YouTube, like the video now. We have 59 people watching, only 16 likes. If you are watching on YouTube, like the video, guys. Support the channel, help us grow, help us keep on producing this content. Please like the video. If you can share. If you are not subscribed, subscribe. Everything that I just mentioned is completely free. They will not charge you $1 for liking or for sharing or for subscribing. Thank you very much, guys. Okay, let's move on. Just still on transfer talk. One more transfer that's is potentially going to happen. Another Super Eagles player, a player who had a fantastic season for his club and also for country in the 2023-2024 season. Scored a fantastic hat-trick in the Europa League final. I'm sure you guys know who I'm talking about now. Ademola Lookman. Ademola Lookman, of course, has now been the subject of interest from a number of teams. We've heard that teams around the world are interested in him, including teams in the English Premier League. So yes, Smith Layi, Ademola Lookman, we're hearing that Juve, in Italy, a league that he has already shown them that he can ball in, looking for him. We've heard that clubs in Saudi, are also interested in him. Saudi right now, they're trying to poach all the best talents to come to their league to encourage more people to watch and to play in their league. But we've also heard that Liverpool, in the English Premier League, a top team in the English Premier League, also interested in Ademola Lookman. Of course, Lookman has played in the English Premier League before. He's an England, English boy, born and raised in England. Played for Leicester, played for Fulham. He knows the league well. Even though when he was in the Prem before, he didn't have the best of times, but now he has matured after going to Italy, and becoming a much better football player. So what are your thoughts on the different rumors, and where do you think could be the best destination for our own player?
So, for me, when someone performs very well in a big stage like the Europa League final, I think, you are not, it's not going to be short of offers. I remember the day after the 3 goals, it was linked to West Ham. In the day after that 3 goals. And so that is what you get. But I think, from all this report, I think the most concrete one is coming from Liverpool. I think they already, had their plans already to actually get him. I think they are preparing for life after Luis Diaz or so. So, in my own personal opinion, I think that Liverpool is looking for him. And it's a guy that has, played in the Premier League before. He actually played for Everton, played for Leicester City before. So I think that it's like coming home for him. It's not going to a league that is not really familiar with. So for me, I just think that Liverpool tends to suit him more, than Juventus is there. But for me, the Juventus team I see now, they are trying to rebuild from scratch because they're having a new coach, Thiago Motta. So coming from Bologna, trying to put his own thing together, it's in few seasons, he's going to do like try and error, small, okay, but we just hope that Lookman can actually also perform well there. Instead for him to go to Juventus, rather stay in Atlanta and play Champions League. But I think that if the Liverpool move is concrete, I think it's concrete. If it can be assured of playing time, I think it's better for him to join Liverpool. That's it. I think I'd rather prefer him to actually to join Liverpool than to join you. I know that he will not go to Saudi, but I think Liverpool is the best destination for him. I'm also hearing that Man United also actually wanted him, but they still don't know what to do with Sancho. I'm also hearing that Chelsea wanted him to Maresca, wanted him personally to complete his front three. But we don't know what will happen. But Lookman might be on the move.
Lookman might be on the move. I say for me, I think I'm probably leaning towards Liverpool, like you mentioned. Partly because I have a bias for the English Premier League, I must say, but also because the English Premier League is the most viewed league in the world. It's the league that people will be able to see his star shine even more than his people are already noticing. Other than maybe before they watched him play in the Europa League final, a lot of people did not really know that Lookman was having a fantastic season. For Atalanta. They watched him play for Nigeria. They're like, wow, they didn't know this guy is that good. They watch him score hat-trick in Europa League final. Like, wow, So Liverpool could be nice, but competition for places in Liverpool is obviously strong. He's going to be competing against the likes of Luis Diaz, It's not very easy. Someone like Luis Diaz is a player that produces when he does play. So it could be slightly difficult for him, but I think it all comes down to ambition and how much he is ready for a challenge. I always say at the end of the day, no player should be scared of making a move to a quote unquote tough situation, as long as you know the quality you have and you know what you can do. Because if he decides not to go to Liverpool because competition for places, and you stay somewhere, at the end of your career, you don't want to be looking back and saying, what if I had done this? What would have happened? What if? So it could be interesting. I think he's a fantastic player, obviously fantastic for Nigeria. Um, I think that if he goes to Liverpool, he can fight his way and he can become a starter and an important player for them. He's a different player from a Luis Diaz, like I mentioned. Mo Salah on the other wing. Mo Salah is, maybe you can say, Salah is getting, is becoming of age. Um, I don't think it's a competition with Darwin Nunes.
You
Nunes will miss 5 chances. Lookman has already scored 3 goals in that time.
know. Mhm.
So it could be interesting for him. And of course, Liverpool will be competing for trophies, competing for the Premier League title as well. Atalanta, they had a fantastic year, won the Europa League, but of course, they are not a team that traditionally we see competing for these big trophies year in, year out. Next year, they're going to be playing in the Champions League. It's going to be even more difficult for them to win that competition. Of course, their league is always difficult because there's Inter, there's Juve, there's AC Milan. I don't know if maybe Napoli can come into the conversation again next year with Antonio Conte. Who knows? But wherever he goes, I think Lookman is going to do well. I also don't see him going to Saudi Arabia. I think that's a dream. But if he stays in Italy with Juventus, I think he will do well. If he stays in Atalanta, I think he will do well. And if he joins Liverpool, I think it will be a big move for him. It will be a big stage, and I also think that he can do well. Let me just quickly see what people in the comments are saying. Let me know where you guys think Lookman's destination should be. I can see Ayodeji says Lookman is currently Nigeria's best player. A lot of people would agree with you. Temi says Liverpool problem is playing time. Problem is playing time. Again, I think he can earn his playing time at Liverpool. I honestly believe so. Ayodeji says Osimhen should join a team that are playing in Champions League. We don't pass Osimhen, but yeah, we hear you. Um, Let me see what else they're saying in the comments. Somebody, Femi Mikes, you can be patient. Thank you.
About 5 comments. Super Falcons.
Let me see what else people are saying. He shouldn't go to Liverpool. He's going to be competing with different players. Somebody said, and Jota too. I mean, there's no Lookman is better than Jota as far as I'm concerned. So I don't really think. I think if anything, it's Jota that should be scared that that he is coming. Somebody said Gakpo and Lookman play different positions, so I don't really think that one is a competition for him. Gakpo is a fine player, but he's a midfield player. Lookman is not playing through the middle, so I don't really think that is an issue. Loki 7493 says, I think he should go to Liverpool. They have a new coach. They do have a new coach. It'll be interesting to see how things happen for them. And then Tolu Lokpe says, I think a move to Juve will be well suited as long as Mota can assure him of playing time. I mean, yeah, Juve definitely could be a good option for him. Assure him of playing time. I don't think the coach will assure any player of playing time. It's always that you have to earn your playing time. But I think, will they give him a chance? I think yes, they will give him a chance. So it's a matter of what he does when he gets that chance. Somebody said Lookman to Leverkusen. Femi Mikes said Lookman to Leverkusen. I don't know if Leverkusen are looking at him right now, but of course, it could be good. Okay. Let us see. Let us move on to another player, another transfer. This one is a transfer that was confirmed today. This is a 23-year-old striker, formerly played for Nigeria at the under 20 level, played for us at the under 20 World Cup. I think, was it 2019 set that he played here at the under 20 World Cup? I'm talking about Mohamed. Tijani. So in case you missed it, Mohamed Tijani has joined English Championship side Plymouth Argyle on a season-long loan from SK Slavia Prague in the Czech League. Plymouth Argyle, of course, currently coached by football legend, England legend, Premier League legend Wayne Rooney. And of course, this is a move that certain people might look at and say, why is he leaving first division in Czech to play in the English Championship? Some people will say, oh, he's playing in England now. If he does well in the Championship, he can easily get a move to the Premier League. Maybe Plymouth can get promoted. Who knows? But yes, Milai, what are your thoughts on this transfer? Mohamed Tijani to Plymouth Argyle.
Yeah, a fantastic, player. He walked through the ranks when he was in Czech. I remember I saw him for the first time when he played at the under 20 for Nigeria in Poland. Not too impressive performance. I remember, I think he scored in that tournament by a penalty. He scored one penalty in that tournament. Fantastic. I remember one of our very renowned journalists described him as the new Canon Wako. We always look for a way to describe
somebody is always the new somebody.
The new Canon Wako, because he was their media officer. They say, when I saw him, he's like Canon Wako. Okay, that is actually what very good. But this move is very good. People think that going. I know that I think Plymouth under Rooney, if he develops well, 15 goals this season, pretty sure that he's gonna get a move. So even to a competing championship side, or those who they play playoff now, he's gonna get a move. So in my opinion, if you also think about it too in a different way, a lot of people can say it's an economic move. We want to go to a place where there's where you can actually have family and everything, to settle down. I don't know the terms of the contract, but I think it's actually what I think maybe it's initial loan and
it's a loan. There's no obligation to buy. It's an option to buy.
So
if he does well, then Plymouth can say they want to sign him permanently.
Yeah, so that means that he's going on a trial for 1 year. So that is it. So even if Plymouth does not have enough money to buy him towards the end, because I can tell you that if he performs well, Plymouth, they can take him away from Plymouth straight away, without even
Plymouth can even just sign him and they sell him to somebody else.
They can sell him to somebody else. So in my own opinion, I see that a good move because now we can be able to see him play. When he's around too, I would like to go and watch him. When he's around the Northwest, because Plymouth is very far from Manchester. So if he's playing any for the away games too, I would like to go and actually watch him play. Fantastic move, a good move.
Yeah, I honestly am pleased with the move, even though it's to the English Championship. We know that the English Championship is probably the toughest second division in the world. They play a lot of games, they play a lot of difficult matches. He's also going to obviously play in the cup competitions as well, whether it's the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, or even there's the smaller cup competition that the lower league teams tend to play as well. He will get his chance there. And like we said, if they can do well, it'll be interesting. Somebody is saying that Plymouth were battling relegation, leaving Europa for relegation is interesting. I think what a lot of people are ignoring when they say things like that is the fact that he wasn't really playing at Slavia Prague. That's the reality. He wasn't getting that much game time. He was trying hard to do well for them, but it wasn't just happening for him. And sometimes when he played, he wasn't scoring as many goals. So he's not coming into Plymouth as a hot striker. Let's put it that way. He's coming into Plymouth having a season that's not so fantastic. So if he stays at Slavia Prague, yes, he can play 1 or 2 games in the Europa League, but for the most part, he's probably going to be on the bench. Is that beneficial for him? Not really. He played 33 games last season, but if you look at those 33 games, he only had 1,158 minutes. So it's not like he was getting out 1,100. That's about 12.9 matches. So let's say he played 13 matches last season in reality. So it is a move for him to actually get playing time, for him to get a chance to show himself. And he's moving to a country that if he does well, things can progress very well for him. All of a sudden, if he does well at Plymouth and he signs for Everton or signs for Leicester or signs for somebody, he becomes a Premier League player. I don't think anybody is going to be saying is a bad decision anymore. So
Yeah.
it is one that he's taking a chance on himself. Of course, it can go either way, but I'm always in favor of players taking chances, going into challenging situations. And of course, playing under Wayne Rooney is something that he has already said was a motivation for him. Yes, Wayne Rooney is not the best coach in the world. We know. We've seen him coach in the USA. He didn't do well. We saw him come and coach Birmingham. He didn't do well, But Wayne Rooney is one of the legendary strikers. When you look at the strikers we have today, we don't have strikers like Wayne Rooney anymore. Fantastic, fantastic player in his day. And maybe Rooney can turn Tijani into a fantastic striker as well. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah.
So I think it's a good opportunity for him. It's all about how he takes his
Yeah.
opportunity.
I just want to remind our viewers about this move. There was when Yakubu Aigbeni left Israel, he was playing the Champions League, Maccabi Haifa. He left for championship side, Portsmouth. The rest they say is history. The highest scorer of Nigeria in the Premier League. So don't see this move that way. Yakubu Aigbeni did the same thing. He went to the championship before you know it. Look at Odion Igalo. Yeah, he went to the championship with Watford now. From is he the Girona? Sorry, is it? No, it was Granada. Yes, to championship before you know it, the Premier League, and he starts scoring goals. With Troy Deeney then. So don't look at this move that way. We've seen two great strikers that went through that route, and they actually they did well after. So it's a good move for me.
All right. Okay. Somebody says Tijani just needs playing time. Yeah. Let me see some other comments. Tolu Lopez says he's a Portsmouth fan. He doesn't like Plymouth, but it's a good move for the lad. Tolu Lopez also says Rooney's managerial record is appalling, but he was an elite striker. I hope he can teach Tijani one or two things. And there's somebody's also saying that yes, Rooney also fumbled in Derby County. So let's hope that at least this can be a positive one. I've been seeing the reaction from Plymouth Argyle fans. They are excited for the season. They are wishing him good luck. They are welcoming him well, already before he has even kicked the ball for them. So if he can deliver on the field, things can go well. Let's say maybe 15, 20 goals, and let's see what happens after that. Okay, let's move forward. So now moving away from transfers, let's talk about this one. You can even call it transfer if you want, but it's not transfer of players; it's transfer of coaches. So the former Super Eagles coach, as well as former candidates for the Super Eagles head coaching job, I'm talking about Finidi George, and also Emmanuel Amunike. They've both been linked to clubs in the MPFL. Of course, Finidi in particular was just the last head coach of the Super Eagles, lost his two qualifying matches, for the World Cup in 2026, and then he tendered his resignation a short time after. Now potentially making a return to the NPFL. Smith Layi, what is the latest on this topic?
No, I
What do you
think
think?
he's been linked. He's from Rivers State, so he's been linked to Homecoming. And Rivers had a very horrible season last time around. So it's like they're trying to bring Finidi George because he won the league with Enyimba 2 seasons ago. So they're just trying to actually bring him maybe to actually to stabilize things. Don't forget that on his CV, he got a title. He also coached Nigeria. So they are bringing a former Nigerian coach, and also I'm gonna get to. We've been linked with Atlant. So Atlant got relegated last season, but they are trying to come back through the back door by buying one of the
The slots.
the slots for Beyond Limits so that they could actually be there. So that is not confirmed yet, but it's good that they are coming back to prove themselves in the league. Let's see what they can do. At least it's not as if you coached 20 years ago, you coached 10 years ago. If Stiazi had to finish his ban, let him come and coach in the league. And let's see what is actually what is up to, so that we know exactly what we are getting. At least if I'm going to get a coach in the league now, at least we know that Now, Atlant in the coach, we see how Atlant they behave. We see how Atlant they behave. At least we know exactly what to expect if it's to get the Super Eagles job. So, in my opinion, I think it's good. And also, what other ex-internationals too apply for local job. At least it's been rumored that they're offering him, is it 3 million naira or 5 million? No, it was 3 million naira. They're offering him a salary, per month
in a month. Mm.
in a month in Rivers United, which is not bad for local league if it's regular, So, in my opinion, others should also make sure that they come back home at least, and come and develop the game.
But it was just earning 15 million in a month to 3 million. 3 million goes small for a year.
The 15 million they pay you. They didn't pay the 15 million now.
3 million goes small for a year. But yeah, I mean, the one thing I will say is that as long as he's actively coaching, I think I'll give him credit for that. I'm somebody that I've said it in the past. I don't like when our coaches just sit down at home, they are doing nothing, and then all of a sudden, when Super Eagles job opens up, they will now start to shout that, oh, they deserve to be considered for the job. That why don't we support local coaches? This one, that one, that one, that one. So for me, honestly, I want you to be coaching at a decent level, but even if it's an MPFL team, even if it's the worst MPFL team, even if it's NNL, just stay active. Make sure you are continuing to learn, continuing to get better every day. Make sure you are adapting with football because football is constantly changing. Styles are changing, techniques are changing, processes are changing. So as long as you are staying active, I think it's something that is worthy of just a little bit of praise. And of course, be ambitious, try to go higher. Can he try to apply for jobs outside Nigeria? I think absolutely. Don't just settle for Nigeria where you're already a local champion and you've already done it, and you know that you can always get a club in Nigeria. Try to challenge yourself a little bit. Try to show yourself on a bigger stage, in a different place. Get out of your comfort zone a little bit. And maybe one day, who knows, we can call him. we can call him again. Somebody said Olisheh Sunday should do the same. Sunday Olisheh is currently working with FIFA, so I don't think he's looking for coaching opportunities at the moment. But I mean, if it was not, maybe he could be looking towards that. I see that somebody disagreed with me. Temi said 20 goals error for Mohamed Tijani. I don't think 20 is unrealistic. In the championship, they play like 50 something, 60 matches every season. They play a lot of games. So if he plays like 50 matches, why can't he score 20 goals now? I mean, let's see. How many goals did Akpom score in championship? He can score 20 goals. Yeah. So let's see. Somebody says, how can clubs buy their way back to the Premier League after relegation? I mean, this is just because not every club in Nigeria has the financial power to be able to run an MPFL team. So whenever a team, gets promoted and they are not able to manage playing in the NPFL because of the financial constraints, they are able to sell their slots to a team that has the money to do so. So that's the reason why things like this happen. It's not corruption. It doesn't sound nice to say that you're buying a slot, but you would rather teams that can run a club in the league actually be in the league than for them to be using a GIG bus now to travel from Lagos to somewhere to go and play match. It's better for them. Yeah, it's better for them to at least have the financial prowess to be able to be in the league. Okay, I'll give a minute again for comments to come in. What are your thoughts on this? Finidi George and Emmanuel Amunike potentially making a return to the NPFL. And then again, I want to thank everybody that's tuned in. We have 103 people that are watching us on Twitter. We have 40 on Instagram. We have 55 on YouTube, and we have 8 people on Facebook. So thank you very much to everyone that's tuned in. Shout out to you guys on Twitter, man, on X. I love how that's like the most engaged platform. People are always tuning in. People are always engaging with us. I appreciate you guys for sure. If you're on YouTube, I appreciate you as well. Please, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. If you haven't liked the video, what are you waiting for? We have 31 likes, but I know you guys can get us to at least 60 likes. So please like the video if you have not already on YouTube. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you. Somebody said they use night bus for our Olympics athletes now. Please let such never happen again.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Um, Loki said it's happened in Europe as well, like Portugal, Ukraine, and all. With regards to night bus, is that what you're talking about?
No, we're talking about the buying slots.
Oh, okay, buying slots. Oh, okay, yes, yes, yes. Okay, let's move forward, Smilai. Let's move
So I
forward.
just want to say something about
Oh,
Atland.
okay.
If they are here, I will advise them, instead of buying a slot, they should go and renovate the Dan Iron Stadium in Owerri.
Hmm.
Make it a good playing turf, befitting of a state team. That place is like an embarrassment to the Nigerian
Hmm.
league.
Hmm. Okay, if you are the CEO of Heartland, you've heard what Smith Layi's recommendation for what you should use your money to do, rather
Yeah.
than buying a slot to compete in the league that you technically did not earn
Uh-huh.
to compete in that league. Okay,
Mhm.
moving forward very quickly, Smith Layi, I don't know if you saw this. I don't know if you saw this, but there were some the sports minister
Mhm.
made an interview with Eagle 7 FM,
Mhm.
and they posted some of the clips on Twitter. I went and I was watching some of the clips and of the conversation that they had with him, and it spoke about quite a number of things. But I think what struck me was comments that he made about foreign born players.
Mhm.
And I get tired of this conversation because it's such a divisive conversation. But I think it's also something that is a bit alarming when we have the top people in the country in terms of sports making comments like this. In case anybody did not hear it or doesn't know what I'm talking about, so just a short part of the whole thing that he said. He spoke about foreign born players, and he said we have in the Super Eagles about 90% of players not born in Nigeria.
Mhm.
Do they have the spirit, the fire of a Nigerian player born in Nigeria?
Mhm.
There are some players in the team who are not good enough for the Super Eagles. We
Mhm.
talk about the quality of the coach, but
Mhm.
what about the quality of the players in the team?
Mhm.
So this is something that a lot of people have spoken about. Fans are always foreign born, home base, foreign home base. Now the sports minister is coming to question their commitment, saying, do the foreign born players have the fire and the commitment of those that are born in Nigeria? Smith, like, what do you think about this?
The simple question is this: we went to AFCON last time around. How many goals did we score? The only homegrown that scored for us was Victor Osimhen, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
The rest of those goals were scored by what? Foreign-born players, if I'm not mistaken. Against Angola, it was Osimhen Lookman. Against Cameroon, it was Lookman. Against
Ekong against Ivory Coast.
Ekong against Ivory Coast, the two goals against Ivory Coast. Against
Yeah.
South Africa, it was Ekong. What is it saying? What is it saying? See, this should not be a conversation that should be having at all. Okay, I would have loved to do this thing. Do starting 11 of homegrown, well, starting 11 of foreign born Super Eagles.
Hmm.
Let's just do it. Oh, guys, go and do it in the comment section. Starting 11, you will see, guys. It's sometimes when it's a failure, we need to take responsibility of where it's coming from. Forget about they are doing their job. They are professionals. For example, now you are treating people badly. You expect them to give you the best. See, I'm tired of hearing those things. We brought in home base now. Our home base. We brought in home base now. We saw how the bending did not bend again. So I'm just saying, like, we should be, I know where it's coming from. I know his advisor, the
Hmm.
sports minister. I know the agenda. See, what we have to be honest with ourselves is this: our best legs are not actually what at home. Most of the guys born, I think, because of development, they tend to develop more and earlier than those that were actually what burn even here because of what? Because of the infrastructure and the training facility we actually would have back home. Those born abroad tend to develop better and earlier than them. So I don't know who is advising this man. That's why it's good to have someone that does his business in than just to bring a politician. That's a politician actually what statement, and he should be embarrassed for making that statement.
Yeah. No, very well said. When I saw it, it also annoyed me because I'm like, how are we still talking about this kind of thing in 2024 after we've seen what the foreign born players have contributed to the team? Again, like you said, even most recently in the AFCON, our best AFCON since 2013, foreign born players are the ones that carried us there. Yes, we obviously have Nigerian born players that are contributing to the team, the likes of Osimhen, the likes of Onyeka, the likes of Nwabali, but it is a mix. Everybody should be welcome. Everybody should feel welcome in the team. Whether you are born in Japan, whether you are born in Spain, whether you are born in Lagos, Abuja, Edo, Owerri, whether you are born on the moon, if you are Nigerian, you are Nigerian. You know, and as crazy as it sounds sometimes these foreign-born players, foreign-born people are even more passionate than those that are born and raised in Nigeria. As funny as it is, so to me, is I don't want to use the insulting language, but it's a bit silly, annoying to me that these things are topics that if fans are even saying it, you can just say fans always say what they want to say. But
Mhm.
when the people in power, in positions of power, people that are running, that are making certain decisions for us, are also saying these kinds of things, it pains me, it pisses me off, and I really hope that it stops. We need to always call our best players wherever they are born. As long as they are Nigerian and they want to fight for Nigeria, let them fight for Nigeria.
Mhm.
We only say this kind of nonsense when it comes to football. In other sports, like in other sports,
Okay, well.
like look at basketball, for example. Yeah, should you say the foreign born player should not come? Who will play basketball? It's me as Smith Layi that will be our Olympics team for basketball now. It's only when it comes to football that they say this nonsense because we actually have a lot of home grown talents that can play football. But I just think it needs to stop. It absolutely needs to stop.
So, I
Um,
just want to add something. I just say for me is that, see, there's some things in life you cannot determine. You cannot determine who your parents will be. You cannot determine where you will be born. It's not their fault for them to be born abroad. You cannot determine the type of background they will have growing up. Those are the things that you cannot determine. See, when we didn't qualify for the World Cup, it was Ola, was it Ola, It was the foreign bond that was so emotional about it. In fact,
yeah.
Balogun wanted to fight. In fact, I watched a Ghana podcast. One guy from Ghana said that he went to go and the official said he went to go and consult Balogun. Balogun was about to fight. Like so to tell you that how pain it was when we lost that ticket.
Hmm.
So and I see it should be Nigeria. I don't like all this agenda. Super Eagles should be super. If all of them are foreign born, so be it.
All right, all right. Okay, we'll not give him too much airtime. Let's move forward to the next topic that we have. Okay, so for those of you that have been shouting at me since I'm getting to your topic. We have, I think, two fairly controversial things to talk about before we get into the awards. I'll just talk about the Eagle Tracker awards very quickly, and then of course we will bring you guys on to share your thoughts as well. So if you want to come on, get ready in about 20 minutes or thereabouts, depending on how quick we run through. You'll be able to come on and join the show. So if you want to come on and give your opinion, please start getting ready. Make sure you have camera. We can see you and we can hear you clearly as well. Okay. Smith Light, let's get into this one. We know that the Paris 2024 Olympic Games is just around the corner. We're less than 20 days away. And of course, for the first time since Beijing, the Super Falcons of Nigeria are going to be taking part. Congratulations to the ladies for securing qualification. And now there's been unfortunately some negative news, some negative reports, which is, I'll say at this point, is typical about Nigeria. If we're going to AFCON, if we're going to World Cup, if we're going anywhere we are going, some negative story will surely come up before we go there. You know, then this time now, a report came out saying that two players, namely Odega Francisca and Onomebi, are trying to, through the means of Godfather or through the means of one or guy somewhere that likes them, are trying to force their way into the Super Falcon squad. I will say this: both players have denied these claims. Francisca Odega has, very, very passionately said she's never done this. She said even after she heard it, she immediately called the coach and said, coach, how far now? You go talk this thing outside. The coach said, no, I didn't say this. You know how Nigeria is now. These things happen. Coach Randy already doesn't even like Nigerian media self. So he's like, why would I go and say it when I already don't like these people, And Onome too has come out and said she didn't say this, but she was also saying that why is it that Nigerians don't like to honor legends? She made mention of Mata, the Brazilian legend who is going to the World Cup. She said, Mata self, where they go Olympics, now to just enter, come out, where Mata they go, that they are doing it just to honor her. But why is it that when it comes to Nigeria, when it comes to her, that since 20 waiting, people have been trying to kick her out of the team, things like that. So Smith Layi, what do you think about this controversy? Why is it that something like this must surely come up before a tournament? And what are your thoughts on how the players have addressed it?
And for me, why can't they talk say they want to go and play South Africa when during the qualifier? Why are we not having the argument say they impose player for qualifier? The game in Joburg and also the one Abuja. Why is it time that those guys labored to qualify for these Olympic Games? Now you want to come and actually what you want? They denied it, but in my own, you always have this conversation. In fact, since time memorial, those that have been following football for so long here, they will remember going to US 94 World Cup. There was Owuburike and Babangida Tijani said, they should go. They are from this year. And in fact, Babangida was dropped in camp. He will come back again. How can a player dropped in camp come back to camp again? Say he want to read? No, like we're having that. Say somebody want to impose. So if you are hearing this news close to a tournament, it's very synonymous with Nigeria. We always would have this type of news before a tournament. I'm not surprised. It can be true, it can be false, but in my own opinion, I think that that should not be where we are putting our energy on now. It should be how to go to the Olympics and actually perform well. That is my take. That is my own opinion. And another thing I want to say basically is this: I beg. Matter go, matter come, enter come. See, don't be say matter come, he come, he enter, he go back. No, the one where we enter against Australia, one go enter. I don't want that one. No. So please, so so make we all those come enter. 2-0 can be half to 2-1. No, in between come enter. So let's go to our best leg. We are going with 18 players for Christ's sake. See, you have to make sure that all of them are fit. They can play some multiple positions. You must be ready. Apart from the center back now, where can Donovan play? I know that he's denying the claim, but I just think that after that World Cup, I was expecting her to do like Operanose and say, "Oh, guys, see you later." That's it.
Okay. I will say this. I am not happy that this kind of controversy came up. Especially because so a lot of people are saying Odega didn't deny it, she was abusing people. I have it on good word that she has denied this thing because I've spoken to people about this topic. I've spoken to, in fact, Super Falcons players about this topic. But she feels like she deserves to be there, but she's not pushing anybody to put her there. That's essentially what it is. Obviously, a lot of people don't think she deserves to be there. So that's the reason why everything that is getting overshadowed by the fact that she's comparing herself to Mata, for example, you know, or saying that people don't appreciate her. But she's not trying to force her way there. Of course, she has not been in Randy Wardrum's team in recent times, so it's very unlikely that she'll be there. But yeah, I just think it's unfortunate that this kind of conversation, controversy comes up. I don't like stories getting cooked up that put our players in negative light. You know, they face a lot of backlash already. Again, it's just unfortunate that people would create stories, in my opinion, where there's none. We only have 18 players, unfortunately, and 4 players on standby, alternate players. So competition for places is very, very tight. You know, there's really not that much space like that to just call anybody. You know, it has to be carefully thought out, carefully planned. You know, and it's not going to be easy for the coach to select 18, but he's going to have to select 18 players that he feels like he can trust. You know, push come to shove. We're expecting the list to come out maybe tomorrow, latest the day after, because they're supposed to resume camp on July 5th. Some players will resume on July 4th. You know, so is a very interesting one. I wish I could predict exactly what 18 players will make the team, but I don't think I can. I think it comes down to the coach's preference, honestly, at the end of the day. There's certain players that I would expect to be there regardless of what's happening. You know, I think Ajibade would be there regardless. You know, I think Uchebe would be there. I think Nadozie would be there. I would expect Echegini to be there. You know, I would expect Deborah Abiodun to potentially be there as well, because we need that presence in midfield. You know, I would expect Uche Nakano is currently injured. I don't know if she's going to make it in time, but she's somebody that ordinarily the coach would include. You know, somebody like a Tony Payne, the coach would typically include. So it'll be very interesting. I initially wanted us to do our 18 players. I don't know if we're going to cover it because of time. I don't know if we'll be able to
I can run through mine quickly.
deep dive into it, or maybe we should do another episode entirely to talk about it. I don't know. That might be the only thing is that the list will come out already. Okay, but yes, Smith Layi, let's run through yours. Who are the 18 players that you would have in your team?
So you can judge me and ask me what's it called, and judge me when this discussion comes out. But for me, I think because it's 18 players, it's gonna go with the 2 goalkeepers. So yes. Christy, go and sharpen your glove. Oh. You're the third choice goalkeeper. So goalkeeper, I think Chimaka Nadozie and Tochukwu Louis. I don't think it's going to actually risk it with any of those home-based players. I think the 2 of them will actually be the first and second choice goalkeepers. I'm going for 5 defenders. And the reason why is this for 5 defenders is because
just 5.
Yeah, some players in the midfield can play defense, you know. So I'm not going to put Christy there now. So for example, I'm going with Osina Shawale, the Minister of Defense herself. You know, I'm assuming that Plonter will be fit enough to play at least for the second game. I'm picking Ashley Plonter. I'm picking Michael Alozie. I'm picking Tosin Dimei and also Chidima Okeke. It's okay. I'm looking at those ones. So I'm dropping the girl from Rems. What's it called? Rafiat. I just think that I don't think the coach trusts her enough, you know, to play from that left back position. I think she's more of a left winger also. So and in the midfield too, I'm going with, you know, like Jennifer Echegine. I'm going with Abiodun Deborah. I'm going with Alimatu Wainde, you know, herself. I'm going with Christy Uchebe, of course, and Tony Payne. You know, I think that one. And for forward lines to have 6 forwards, but some of these forwards can still play in the midfield. So I'm going with the what's it called? The pastor Mrs. herself, Rashida Dagibade. I'm going with her. I'm going with the queen of African football, you know, Asata Shuala. I'm going with Ushina Kanu or Yozu. But I think if Kanu is fit enough, I think Ushina Kanu. I'm going with the first name on the list. If I'm no mono, you know.
you think he will take on the money for sure?
I think I think he will be there. So I also think that Okoronkwo will be there, and also Omori Sola Babajide.
You think Babajide is going to make the team?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think she will take this girl there. I don't think she will take the girl from Gift Monday. She's not been using her for so long. So That's the reason why I think she might not actually go, because if you have been in camp for so long and they don't use you, so I just think that we look at, okay, the 18 players must be ready for action. But that's my own. Yeah.
Okay. Let me run through who I think will make the team very quickly. So like you said, 2 goalkeepers for sure. I agree with you on goalkeepers. Inadozie first choice, Olisheh second choice. Jiwaku can be alternates, as the third goalkeeper in the alternates list. For defense, I think I'm going to go with 6 defenders. I think maybe to have a bit more option. So I'm going to go with Chidima Okeke. I'm going to go with Osinachi Ohale. I'm going to go with Tosin Dimeyin if she's fit. My third defender, I'm going to go with Ashley Plumter if she's fit as my fourth defender. I'm going to go with Michelle Alozie, who I think is right back. And I have the sneaky feeling that the coach is going to include Nicole Payne. So that's who I am having as my 6th defender. I just have the sneaky feeling that now that she's playing in the US, she's playing in Portland, she can make it into the team as an alternate option for fullback. Because if we have Alozie playing on the right and let's say Plumter playing on the left, I think Okeke and Payne can offer options as alternates to them. Maybe the coach might say, okay, he doesn't want to take Payne and he's taking 5 defenders. But for me, I think it is going to be an interesting one, a toss of the coin, in my opinion, to see who he selects. And I think, again, it depends on the fitness of Plumter and Tosin Dimeyin. For the midfield, I'm going to go with 6 midfielders. So 6 midfielders, and maybe you can call it 5, but they usually list her in midfield. So I have her in midfield. Ajibade Rashidat, they usually put her as a midfielder whenever they drop the Super Falcons list. So I have her in midfield. Christy Uchebe, midfielder, also can play as a defender, for sure. So Christy Uchebe, I think, like I mentioned earlier, Deborah Abiodun, I think Abiodun is like the coach's second daughter. If you think if Onumonu is the first daughter, Abiodun is the second daughter of the coach. So I think Deborah Abiodun will be there. Tony Payne, the elder sister of Nicole Payne. I think Tony Payne, one of our creative outlets in that midfield, I think she'll be there. And Jennifer Onye Echegini, our potential future Ballon d'Or winner. I think, Echegini, superb season that she just had with Juventus. I think that's, if he doesn't select her, that one, I will riot self. If you don't call Echegini for the Super Falcons. So 6 defenders, 6 midfielders, and 2 attackers. That's 14 players. So I only left 4 players in the attacking position. So that means obviously it's tight for spaces. I'm also cognizant of the fact that Ajibade can play as an attacker. I'm also cognizant of the fact that Tony Payne can play as an attacker if she needs to. And also Echegini can also play as an attacker if she needs to. So there's a reason I'm not stupid for selecting only 4 forwards. My 4 forwards here, Asisat Oshoala. Even though Oshoala has not been in the best of form for Nigeria, she's a big name. She's a senior player in the team. She's still a player that imposes fear in the minds of defenders. There's one thing that I've said. It's like having, it's like the reason why Jude Bellingham was playing rubbish against Slovakia, but they kept him on the field for 90 minutes because he's one of those players that even though he's having a bad game, he can still produce you that moment of magic when the opportunity comes. And I think that's what Oshoala is. Oshoala is not having the best of times. She's not been so fantastic for Nigeria, but she's just one of those players that if the chance comes, she can do something for us. She can put fear into the hearts of defenders. She has experience, and the players also look up to her. So I think Oshoala. I think Uche Nakano as well, knock on wood that she'll be fit. I think it's not a serious injury that she had. I think it was even maybe just illness. So I think Uche Nakano will be there. I'm also going to go with Esther Okoronkwo. Esther Okoronkwo is that sneaky player that a lot of people maybe don't give her a lot of credit. But look at her scoring record for Nigeria. When she plays, she scores. So I'm going to give her. And then the final player, I'm going to go with Chinwe Ihezuo. Unfortunately, on my own 18, I don't have space for Risola Babajide. I love her, Risola, but I don't have space for her in my 18. I don't have space for Monday Gift. I don't have space for Onumonu. I know she's the coach's first daughter, but Onumonu, last season she was essentially a bench player for Gotham FC. She made a move to Utah Royals. She hasn't been playing for Utah this season. I don't know if she's injured or she has just been on the bench a lot. Her team is even, I think, the last place team in the league right now. So she's not having the best time. I think if the coach picks her, it will be like, coach. It will be a bit too biased, in my own opinion, if he picks her. So I don't have room for on Mono. So yes, Inadozie, Oluwehi, Okeke, Ohale, Alozie, Payne, Demey, Plumter, Uchebe, Ainde, Abiodun, Ajibade, Tony Payne, Echegini, Oshuala, Kanu, Okoronkwo, and Ihezuo. Those will be my own 18 players that I think will represent the Super Falcons at the Paris Olympics. Yeah.
I just want to make one comment. See, the Odumonu I picked and Babajide actually was picked. I knew that, if Odumonu will not, she doesn't even deserve to be called up for those qualifiers, but she still got called up. So that's why I'm just trying to sneak in, trying to look so my binocular to see where I can see the list, because of their bonds, and everything. So I don't think it deserves to be there, but she deserves to be there. But in my opinion, I just think that all these people, and they are very funny. Say, it's my project. I know what she can do, and things like that. So when we're complaining, she was playing. So
let me see what people are saying in the comments. Felix said, your experience can be nonsense if you don't add value to the team. We have enough experience in the team.
Yes.
I think Felix was talking about Onome, when he said that. Let me see. Somebody said, my babe Alozie must make the team. That's what Yinka said. I think Alozie would make the team for sure. Odozoni said, Esther Okonkwo now only I'm concerned me. So Odozoni said, as long as Esther is on the team, he doesn't care who the other 17 players are. If Esther is there. Somebody said, what about Abiodun? Yeah, we said it. Abiodun, I think we both think will make the team. Proudly Austin, shout out to Austin Okonakwan. He said, only one in our world run picking now. Yinka said, Babajide has great prospects. I am Adeshola says, believe me, Gift Monday gets backup power. She will be part. Maybe I don't see her going. Smith Layi doesn't see her going, but who knows? Kayode Akim Bade says Nicole or Imura, one of them might make it. I also think so. I said I think Nicole will potentially make it. Smith Layi doesn't think so. We have to wait and see how that happens. Felix said
she even joined the life now, Prophet.
Oh yeah, she did.
She joined. We are talking about that.
Okay. Felix said, I think Echegin is currently one of our best players. I would also drop Ifoma. I think Echegin is definitely one of our best players right now. She's been really impressive. So definitely I think Echegin will be on that list. Okay, let me see. We have Temi said thank you for dropping Onumon.
I'm the coach.
Inameka said Ihezuo rather is the number 9. For sure she starts the game. The two Payne sisters would also be selected.
I'm thinking that Nico might be there too.
Temi said AyoT gets inside to us. I'm just guessing, I guess I did guess so.
But at least AyoT, 3 of them. 3.
I mean, I know a few players that have received phone calls, but yes. I don't know. I've not seen the list. True to God, I've not seen the list. I don't know up to 5 confirmed players. It's only a few that I'm sure that have received the phone calls. Somebody's asking Esther Onyenezide. I don't think so. No, she has not even been playing for her club since she moved to Madrid. Rofia Timura, I think is unlikely, just because Imura is not a great defender, and for her club she even plays as a winger. And the funny thing is that she actually does well as a winger for her club. She scores goals. I remember when I watched her playing against Chiamaka Nnadozie, I think she scored 1 or 2 goals in that game. So when she plays as a forward, she actually does well. But unfortunately, competing against Oshuala, competing against Kanu, competing against maybe Ajibade, competing is hard to say that she will get in ahead of those people. So we have to see what happens. Okay, and somebody is asking Ayo and Smith. Good question. Thank you, Nameka, for bringing this up because we didn't mention who are your 4 alternative players. Smith Layi, who are your 4 alternative players?
You want to the goalkeeper? I think there's going to be one goalkeeper, maybe probably one defender, one midfielder, and one forward. So the defense, I think I would pick Akudo. Is it Akudo?
Akudo Ogbonna.
Ogbonna, yes, I'll pick Akudo Ogbonna because that is I can actually think of in the midfield. I think in the midfield, I would pick that midfield. I don't think we have any extra midfielders actually what left. So So I think in that midfield, I just think that I will pick Iwaju Ogbonna. I will pick as my alternate player. I will pick Monday Gift as my alternate player, and I will also pick. I think let's let Nico Payne. So I'll put Nico Payne there.
Okay. For me, 4 alternate players. I think Linda Juwaku for sure as my goalkeeper. Linda will be my alternate goalkeeper. Alternate forward will be Rinsola Babajide because I didn't put her in my team initially. Let me see. Alternate defender. I don't want to just agree with Smith Layi like that, So I'm thinking but I think I would have to agree and say Akudo Ogbonna. I could have gone Rafiat, but I've already in my team. I already selected Okeke. I already selected Alozie. I already selected Payne, and Plumter. So if I put another fullback, it would be too much. It would be too much for fullbacks.
Yeah.
So I think Akudo Ogbonna is the next best center back that we have. The only other center back is maybe you want to call Shukurat. To come and play. So I think it will probably be her. And then the 4th alternate player that I would go with, let me see, in midfield, Peace Effie.
Okay.
Peace Effie. I like her. She's a controlled midfielder. She plays for Braga in Portugal. She played for us. What's it called? She played for us against I think Cape Verde in the qualifiers. She did well when we had some players missing, and she's the kind of player that I think if she gets a chance, she can do a decent job. So in midfield, I'll choose Peace Effie.
But I don't think she's getting opportunity on that wardrobe because it wasn't what
it wasn't Wardrum that called her. Yes, it wasn't Wardrum that called her. That's true. But for me, I like Peace Effie as a midfielder, so I'll pick her if I'm to select an alternate midfielder. Okay. Welcome, Mr. Adedotun. Yes, please encourage them. If you're on YouTube, please like this video. We have 42 likes on YouTube, but we can reach 60, guys. We can reach 60 for sure. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like the video. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel. As always, shout out to everybody that's watching on Facebook. Shout out to everybody that's watching on Instagram. And shout out to all 141 people that are watching on Twitter. Shout out to you guys on Twitter, man. Twitter. Shout out to you guys. Okay, if you want to join, please get your camera ready. Get your camera ready. I'm going to paste the link on all platforms very, very soon. But Smith Layi, before we get people to join in, let us take this topic that I added to the show last minute. Talking about Sunday Olisheh's revealing interview. Of course, Sunday Olisheh, Super Eagles legend, somebody that did great things as a player for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and of course, has also coached the Super Eagles, in 2017. Sunday Olisheh had some words that were not so nice, spoke about the NFL, spoke about certain players, and also, to be fair, had some nice words as well. But for the purpose of today, I'm probably going to focus a little bit more on the not so nice words that he had. So let's start with Mikel Obi. Mikel is a legend of Nigerian football also in his own right. A player that's, fantastic player, won a lot of things with Chelsea, of course, won the AFCON in 2013 with the Super Eagles as well. But I think it's not news that John Obi Mikel and Sunday Olisheh are not the best of friends. We've always known that they have this beef with each other. Mikel Obi has maybe said some words about Olisheh in the past, and in this interview, Sunday Olisheh said some words back about John Obi Mikel. So
Mm.
in case people did not hear, let me just let you know. Obviously, I'm shortening it because it was a long conversation. But I think what stood out to me when asked about why he, was not able to gel well with Mikel and what he thinks needs to happen. Suddenly, he said, "I think Mikel needs some help." He said he can call me and I can advise him. The problem that he had with Mikel when he was the coach of Super Eagles is that he did not think Mikel was good enough to play in that position at that time. He said, I even thought that there was a home-based player that was better than him in that position.
Mm-hmm.
And he mentioned Paul Onobi as the home-based player. That he played him in the next game. I can't remember who we played against. Was it
Eswatini?
Yes, and that even the opposition coach came and said that Paul Onobi was the best player in the game. So Smith Layi, let's tackle that first. What do you think about Sonny Olisheh saying that he did not think Mikel was good enough to play in the Super Eagles midfield at that time?
So I like Sonny Olisheh, legend of the game. I love him so much, but sometimes there is a recurring decimal with these 94 sets. When they see other people coming up, they try to belittle them and tell them that for what have you done? We have done it before. You must be able to also appreciate what they did. This guy you're talking about is not good enough. He was one of the best players during AFCON under late coach Stephen Keshi. If we forgot that, he won the Champions League then around that time. See, so to come and say, the issue was that the away game in Swatini wasn't one of his best games. But you just throw, I don't know where that one is coming from. I don't think that he managed the decision very well, would you say? Because he cannot come and say that he was wrong. That is one thing. Until we can now explain what happened in Eswatini. That's why he didn't actually play well. Don't forget that Mikel doesn't like to play under Astro. That I want Mikel to come out again and be able to actually explain those situations very well. In my own opinion, I just think that is the two of them were not like best of friends. So if they say that they are falling out, say this, it's like match that's a manager is not meant to happen. We were just find themselves in the in the Super Eagles because of Nigeria. The Polonobi that say he played against Eswatini. After that game, which game again the Polonobi play for Nigeria well? Because all those things, we have to. He's trying to justify his inclusion that that's the reason why he dropped Mikel. After that Polonobi game, after that game that they played, what did you know about that Polonobi? That is it. See, the issue is this. I know that 94, they are one of the best players we've ever had, but they should also show respect to these people coming up. You don't show respect to them coming up. You cannot just rubbish what they did. It's really, really unfair. For my own opinion, it's not as if I'm trying to here to come and talk like what Olisheh Ashiwa did wasn't good. In my own opinion, I just think that it wasn't managed well. It wasn't managed. It wasn't managed well. Yeah.
Okay. I also found it a bit laughable, for him to say that Mikel Obi was not good enough to play in the Super Eagles midfield. I mean, we all know how good Mikel Obi was as a football player, for both club and country. So one bad game should never be enough for you to just determine that a player is not good enough. But for whatever reason, that wasn't the case. But before he got into that talk about Mikel not being good enough, he also spoke about something that happened once he took the job as the Super Eagles head coach. He said once he took the job that, of course, we had just failed to qualify for the last AFCON under Stephen Keshi in 2015. So he said once he took the job that the NFF told him that, see, the reason why we did not qualify is because we have some problematic players. And he named the problematic players as Vincent Nyama, Mikel Obi, and Emmanuel Emenike. And he said the NFF told him that he should not call these people to the team. We've obviously always heard about NFF trying to impose players, trying to punish players that maybe offended somebody or disrespected somebody. But suddenly say now has come out and say, oh, they blatantly told me not to call these guys. What do we think about that? Very quickly, what do we think about that?
See, why are they problematic? Because they are senior players, they ask for their rights. Anybody that's asked for his right is problematic. Olisheh too was problematic because he was the only player that could stood up then and ask for his right. The late coach Stephen Keshi too proud and problematic. Why? Because he also asked for his right. Because Olisheh knows the system very well. He knew that those people did not do anything. They were just trying to throw them under the bus. That's the reason why you see him trying to actually talk to them. See, the issue with the NFF is so complicated. You already know what they want. For example, now, I remember that Ekong wasn't getting called up because they asked them not to call him. Like you keep on having issues with player because a player can talk. Why? So, in my opinion, I just think that then what happened then was that I think Amaju Pinnick was trying to tell them to restart afresh. That they doesn't want those things that happened before to happen again. Young players, at least you are grooming them now. They will not be able to ask for anything and everything. But was it not the same thing that Genetro came in and cleared all the mess? The Mikel you're talking about was a true member of Genetro's team in his formative, like in the early years. So, in my opinion, I just think that it's just selfish interest. When you put people that don't understand football, that's what they actually would come up with. They had issues with you. Why can't you just sit down with them, talk to them? But because of pride on one side, you cannot settle this amicably. So, in my opinion, continue.
No, I was going to say, but just to Olisheh's credit, he also said that even though they told him not to call those players, he told them no, that he wants to get a chance to speak to them first, hear from them, and try to convince them to be part of the project. He said he drove to Enyama, spoke to Enyama. He said he called Mikel, texted Mikel, he said he set appointment for Mikel and Moses to come and talk to him. That Moses showed up. Mikel never replied any of his messages, never called him back, never showed up to the meeting. So Mikel also, he has some fault here. Because he should, if your coach calls you, you should answer now. And he also said Emenike, was one of the best players that he ever worked with. Let me see some other thing that he mentioned. We cannot cover everything, and I know people are saying, I should go into some more detail, but unfortunately, because of time, I cannot talk the whole story. It was 1 hour interview. If I start to talk the whole story, this live will not end, or we will not be able to bring you guys on. But something else that he mentioned, he spoke about unpaid salaries. I won't go into that one too much. We know that NFF normally they always owe money. But he mentioned about the current Super Eagles that he feels that there are several players that are being called up to the Super Eagles that are not good enough to wear our jersey. That's what the coach said. Smith Layi, do you agree with that statement that there are some players right now that are in the Super Eagles that are not good enough to wear our jersey?
100%. I agree with you. I agree with him. 100%. In fact, some people should not even be in our top 50. And they're starting the Super Eagles. I don't want to mention them because of the platform of a good striker, but there's some players that they are consultancy players. They are not meant to even be in the national team. See, the issue is this. I would normally say these things. Sometimes these guys are privileged. To get clubs nowadays might not be that hard. But I can tell you that you can clearly see that these guys they don't have what it takes to actually be in the Eagles, in my own personal opinion. So I don't want to mention names, but I think Uzi was spot on. Only few players merited being in the national team, in my own opinion, that actually were there now. Some are not even there. And one is one of our regular defenders. It's not meant to be national. Yes.
Okay,
Yes, regularly.
Smith Layi is shaking some tables. You know what? I will say this. It will be hypocritical of me to come and say I disagree with that sentiment. I disagree with that statement because I've said it on live even myself in the past that in my own opinion they've watered down what it means to be a Super Eagles player. You know,
Yes.
when I was growing up, the way I used to look at Super Eagles players before maybe I started understanding more about how NFF works, about how football works. To me, oh, when I see anybody in Super Eagles, in my mind, automatically, this guy is one of the best players that Nigeria has to offer. That's how
Mm-hmm.
I used to look at them. When I was watching the JJs, the Kanus, the Obafemi Martins, the Babayaros, the Nyamas, you know, I looked at the Yobos. In my mind, these guys are as good as it gets when it comes to Nigerian footballers. But right now, with all due respect, you know, there are some players that is like me say if I go and train small, maybe I can even be maybe I can even be I'm joking or before anybody
Mm-hmm.
gets offended. But you know, there's some players that I'm like, how is this guy just getting called up? You know, they sometimes they will say, oh, his base is close to the training camp, so let him just come. You know, sometimes they'll say, oh, we want him to move to another place. Sometimes they'll say, oh, we want to give him exposure. I'm like, Super Eagles nice for exposure. You know, things like that. So I would definitely agree with that sentiment that it has definitely been watered down what it means to be a Super Eagles player. But I hope that these things can change moving forward. Okay, for the sake of time, let's just put a pin in it there. If you guys want to watch the interview, you can go on YouTube and watch the full interview with Elegbete TV. You know, Finidi George. But yeah, let me now bring in some callers. If you want to join, the link is pinned on YouTube. The link is pinned on Instagram. The link is also in the comments on Facebook. If you are on X, on Twitter, and you want to join as well, the link has been posted under the video. So just call in, make sure you have your camera on, and we will give you a chance to speak. The first caller that we have tonight is a friend of the show, you know, someone that has been on the platform a couple times in the past, or many times, I shouldn't say couple. Felix. Felix, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Smith Layi.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
All right. Good evening.
Yeah, Felix, it's been a while since I've seen your face. I just remember every time I see your face, you just remind me of Phil's. I'm just like, this is this is Phil's. But yes, thank you for joining.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so which of the topics do you want to tackle today?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. I just want to comment generally on the topic, on the few things you said as regards the Osimhen transfer, the Super Falcons issue. Those are the two things I really want to speak on. And I want to say, I think Arsenal is the best fit for Victor Osimhen.
Yeah.
I think Arsenal is the best fit for Victor Osimhen because of the way we play, the way we create chances. You know, having a player of Odegaard stature, Martinelli, and Bukayo Saka around a player like Victor Osimhen is really going to, move him closer to the Ballon d'Or rankings again. I think Arsenal is just the best fit for him. Imagine we put a lot of crosses in the box. I think we are that club in the Premier League who put a lot of crosses in the box more, and nobody finishes those chances. So if you have Victor Osimhen in Arsenal, you will just be scoring tap-ins. Martinelli crosses the ball, Saka crosses the ball, Odegaard will create from the middle. So I think Arsenal is the best fit for Osimhen. And as regard the Super Falcon, I read on MLB's comment as regards the things going on the internet. But it was more of she didn't really deny that allegation. It was more of attacking people who didn't want her to be in the team. Because personally, I think if Onome should make the team, she definitely go through the back door because I'm very sure Waldron is not going to pick Onome. This is not about taking an experienced player to a competition. If your experience adds no value to the team, there's no reason for going. We already have Osinachi. She's of age too, but because she's very good, she adds value to the team. That is why people are not complaining. And once I get to is there, she's experienced. So we don't need Onome Ebi experience. It is more of a liability than an experience. So that's all I want to say. And I just feel why don't you take the best legs, And I think Jennifer Echegini, and I made it in the comments, I wrote it in the comment section that she's one of Nigeria best player currently. I watched some of her game and she's a very slick player. And I think she's going to PSG. Just after a year joining Juventus.
Yeah, I mean, there've been some reports. We know that she handed in a transfer request. For whatever reason. Personally, I think is a case of Juventus don't look like a club that has ambition. They're just letting their best players go. They let their coach go. It just does not seem like they are really building for the future. So she potentially, was looking for a move elsewhere. PSG is one of the teams that have been touted. Of course, PSG is a good team, competitive team. It's not going to be easy to command her presence in PSG, but with the level of talents that she has, I would believe in her rather than doubt her and say that she can't do it. I definitely agree with you that she's one of the best players that we have in the Super Falcons. She's a top player.
Yeah. I think looking at her, she can only get better from here. Her game is improving time to time. She does new things. I watched some of her clips on YouTube, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I never knew she was this good. We don't get to watch the Italian Serie A for women's league, so I just have to check a few videos on YouTube, and I see that she was just very good, very technically good. Her intelligence is high too, so she's a good asset to the national team. And I don't know, there is this player. I think she played. I think Norway just called her up. I don't know. I think she's a very good striker. So I didn't know why Nigeria.
Sweden.
Yeah, Sweden.
Oh, Evelyn.
She was called up.
Evelyn EJ. She plays with AC Milan. Yeah.
Evelyn, is Evelyn EJ is so funny because she's been called up to the Super Falcons in the past. She was called up once. I think it was for some friendly matches that we were playing. And then I remember then I even commented on it. After getting called up, I don't think she played though. Then the next international window, they called her up to Sweden under 23. And I remember I was saying then that how can the player be Super Falcons player today? And then next international break, she is playing for Sweden. Not even Sweden first team. Under 23, she has gone to go and play for their 23. And of course, now she's been called up to their first team. The only thing I can say is that whoever the NFF did not manage that relationship properly. They didn't manage, because if they did, after she has accepted the call up, she will be more. You would imagine that she will be more committed to representing Nigeria in the future. But of course, we also know that Super Falcons or Nigeria is not like our youth teams for women are not active like that unless it's time for tournaments. They're not really playing. Whereas in Sweden, playing for youth team, she knows that she's competing, with top young players around the world. She's getting regular playing time. She's getting exposure, visibility playing for them. So very interesting one. But what can we say? She's a Swedish player now. Okay, final thought, Felix, before I bring somebody else. Final thought.
Say something. I think Super Falcons should start. I don't know. Maybe they need to start scouting for a new central forward, like a CF. I think if we are not careful, we won't have this potential center forward player in years to come. I don't know, because I've not really seen anybody making the rounds from the under 17, under 20. We've not seen this player coming up as a center forward. That's just my fear.
For the Super Falcons.
Yeah,
I mean, we have Ajakaye that we believe can be a top talent. We have Flourish, who can potentially be a top talent. There are a few of them.
Because
our under 17 girl, what's her name? Chidi. So maybe, who knows?
Harmony Chidi.
Sorry, what do you say, Smith Layi?
Is it Harmony Chidi?
Yeah, Harmony. Yes, I think that's her name. Yeah. So,
okay, that is my contribution for today. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Felix. Nice hearing from you. Okay. Let me see. Inameka, thank you. I'm going to bring you on in a second. Let me just quickly go to the comments to see what people are saying. Adedotun says, Arsenal, if you like, buy Haaland and Osimhen. Yeah, you can't win anything. Okay. Somebody is saying, let me see this comment. This person said, players like Awaziem, Uzoho, Ajayi, Tanimu, plus Finidi discoveries, and many players have dropped levels. We need to start getting our 20 players into Super Eagles. I don't agree with you. I'm not saying that maybe certain players have not dropped levels, but before we get under 20 players into the Super Eagles, those under 20 players have to be playing at the level of Super Eagles. You know, if you say Awaziem is not playing well, you cannot now drop Awaziem and bring who is worse than him because he's under 20. You know, those under 20 players to have to play at that level. So I don't fully agree with you. Yes, some players have dropped. We all know that, but it's not like we have Hendrick playing for our under 20, you know, or we have one of the next hottest players on our under 20. You know, our under 20 players are frankly are average under 20 players, and they are still coming up. Maybe they can become good quality players in the future, but
They are constancy players.
yeah, but they're not there yet. They're not there yet. Okay, let me see what else we're seeing in the comments. Let me see. Someone said watch out for Chidi Harmony. Yeah. Somebody said watch out for Chidi Harmony. Someone said, can anybody link me to Nigerian 17 at all? I play in England. Calvin, you can go and reach out to our consultancy person and say if you want to play. Please, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I beg you.
I'm joking. Okay. Eda Rebecca, welcome. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Mika.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Smith, how are you guys doing?
Thank you.
I'm very well. Thank you.
Okay, that's good. Good discussion because I have been checking on the different website and wondering what is going on with our own Nigerian and both the national team and also both the Super Eagles and Super Falcons. Because you can see when you have the government or senior official meddling into the selection, that's when we have big problems. Okay, and you see other nations that doesn't have such, that's why you see they progress. They just tell the coach, hey, we hire you, do whatever you want to do. Then the coach, you see, if the coach doesn't perform, then you have the right to let the coach go. But now you guys are, some media people now are now, putting mouths into the government and meddling into the players and the coach. Now, you see, what we don't want to do, we don't want to give Randy any problem in terms of selection. Okay? It's better let him select the best that he can put together, and he will put together. Okay? But it's also good, for our players who has been accused one way or the other to kind of debunk it, so that it's not gonna be flying in the media for a long time, because those people has debunked it, and then we can move on. So in terms of the selection, good thing, what you guys put forward is pretty, what we're gonna be seeing from Randy, as like Smith Layi says. Even if I have to give my list, Onumonu is not there. But the only thing is that Onumonu is the first on the list of random, whether you like it or that is her, her daughter, kind of, so we can't skip that, no problem. So, but other than that, now I did mention that this girl, I think he's playing in Mexico, so that Ihezu Chinwendu, they will see a different thing from her in the Olympic if she makes the list. She is gonna, because she is running like Barbara Banda of Zambia. It's like 1 horsepower, the girl. So, and I think that, you see, after the tournament, she will leave the, wherever she's playing, and she's coming to the US, because they will see a similar Banda and then rush after her. So she is good. That's why don't be surprised. Yes, Asisat is our number 1, but now You see, Randy needs somebody with a speed, like speed that will trouble the defense. That's why when he was interviewed last time, he did mention that, oh my God, did you ask those people how this lady did? Because I mean, she troubled them. So that is on that. And also on the case of Osimhen, I think the best bet for the clubs that can pick Osimhen will be either Arsenal or Chelsea. Though, but the problem is that Arsenal might not bring up the money up to the one that Chelsea is gonna put together. Chelsea might go with 85 to 90, but Arsenal will maybe drop to 70 and said if possible they don't want to offer up to that, but they want good ones. Okay, they want good, but they will not be able to put up that. So, but I think Osimhen will be much better on those two, English Premier, Chelsea or Arsenal. In terms of Saudi Arabia, no, he will not like to go there now. He will go later, but not now. He's not like Kante, who is that does pretty well with France. As you can see how he plays, whether he's in Saudi, it doesn't matter. You're good, you're good. So also, you guys also
sorry, what of PSG for Osimhen? You don't like PSG?
PSG. Yeah, PSG is good, but Osimhen would like to, because he will say, I have been to French before. Maybe he might consider, okay, now let me go and try the English so that I will have that on my, kind of resume or, my achievement. That's what I think. Because I think he plays with Leon before, right?
Lille.
Or no?
Yeah, Lille. Yeah,
With Lille.
Okay, so he has been to the French league. Maybe he said, I have been in Serie A, then let me just try the English. That's what I think, that will kind of, motivate him to, do that. Now, the last thing that I just want to comment is on the, the friendlies. Though I did put it up on the platform. I asked if there is any, friendly matches for the Super Falcons, because of the group they are in is so, oh my God, look at those teams. All of them has played several friendlies, all of them. But our own, we haven't played any. So I was wondering if you guys have any information in terms of any friendlies for them before that Olympics.
Don't worry, we'll play like a Division 7 club before we'll play like
what I mean, it sounds funny, but that's what it looks like right now. As of now, I don't, I've asked about it. I've not received any confirmation of any friendly matches. It seems like it will almost be like what happened when we're going to the World Cup last summer. We played against one local Australian team. So they are going to camp. The NFF will probably look for a club that they can just face, and it's not really going to be a competitive match. That's what it seems like. But we have to just wait and see what happens.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you very much for joining. I appreciate your contribution. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys are doing a good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, and I'll bring on one more guest before we wrap up for today. Pan-Africanist Junction. Good evening.
There's no camera.
I think something has happened to his connection. So Pan-Africanist Junction, I'll give you just 1 minute if you can reconnect and we can get you back on. Okay. Yes, hello, good evening.
Good evening. How you guys doing?
We're good. Thank you for joining. I think this is my first time seeing you, so welcome.
No, well, yes, this is the first time you see me, but I've been following you for a while now. You've been making some comments that gets on my nerves. Sometimes I ignore you. Sometimes I ignore you. I'm like, you know what? I'll type some things. I'm like, you know what? I don't let me waste my energy on this guy, man. But I want to make my comments on a couple of things, and you guys were talking about not allowing somebody saying not allowing home-based foreign-based player to play for Nigeria. I don't have a problem with that, but I've always thought that the Dubai rules like everything else in Nigeria, is the NFF. We do not have the intention of raising quality football players. And you can see that by the state of our league. If you look at all the top leagues in the world, they are very intentional on how they raise their players, what qualities they want their players to have, given on the attributes that they have. The problem with Nigeria and the NFF and the Super Eagles will always be the NFF. We have the wrong people in the right positions. In a population of almost 300 million people, I don't even think we've even found the real talents that we have in that Nigeria. We are not even seeing them. Let me give an example of myself. I was born June 28, 1991, right? I wanted to become a soccer player. That was my dream, right? But nobody ever told me that, KG, go to the NPFL, start there. It never even came to me. I thought maybe I was crazy, like, it's just a dream, it's a dream. Now to come find out that Kevin De Bruyne and I were born the same day, the same month, the same year. And that was my dream, to become a professional soccer player. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, damn, I wish people would have told me, go to the NPFL. But even our own people are not even anybody to go into the NPFL. Because even our people themselves, they've given up on it, because Nigerians have given up on the NFL. So until we find a way to fight this NFF and start holding them accountable and responsible, it will always be this disastrous, man. I don't believe that this foreign best player have talents more than Nigerian players. But I live in Los Angeles right now. I'm in Los Angeles. I live in Nigeria for 17, 18 years. But talent is there for Nigeria.
So okay, sorry. Let me just say something. I think I don't think anybody is saying they have more talent. I think the conversation is that they currently are better players. So talent is the ability that God put inside you. God, in my opinion, God does not favor Europe more than he favors Nigeria. So talent is scattered.
No, yeah, I agree with you.
But the is more so if you are born in England, for example, you join Chelsea Academy at 5 years old. You're now getting that high quality training from 5 years old.
And
by the time, it's like
routine. Don't forget routine.
Yeah, routine. If you do something for 10 years, it's like there's no how you'll not be good. You understand what I'm saying? If you do it every day for 10 years.
Repetition. Repetition is the father of success.
That's the difference between the foreign born and the home born. Is more so because they start early, they have the good system, so they tend to be more advanced rather than a player born in Nigeria. By the time he's going abroad, he's already 18, 19, and then he now has to start catching up.
So let me ask you a question: whose fault is it that our players are not able to get this reputation and routine? It goes back to the NFF.
It does go back to the NFF.
Because the money that they are supposed to be, like for example, right now, right? Nigeria, Lagos alone should have about 20 stadiums and about 40 mini fields. That I remember growing up in Lagos after Nawati Pari. Like, do you guys understand Yoruba, right? So
not viewers, not everybody understands.
So after we close school around that 4 p.m. we are going to the field. And I can remember back then when we had the ability and the energy, all these adults will be chasing us away. But I can't blame them because they don't want us to break their glasses. They don't want us to break the glasses of their car. But what if the NFF have built mini fields that we can go into? So until we start holding these people accountable, we have to start holding the NFF accountable. It's not the players at all. It is the NFF.
Yeah. Sorry,
sorry, Smith Layi, before you go, let's just tackle this.
I want to say one more thing before
we have to wrap up. Yeah, just for time.
Time is already fast spent.
Yeah. Okay, let me say something. And I'll let it go. I want to talk about Osimhen.
Okay.
And if anything that is okay, I find it disrespectful that you pay 60 million for Harvest. I'm waiting for that German boy name, who has not accomplished anything, who has not won anything, who is band average, but you want to pay 70 million for CMN, somebody who carried Napoli to win the Scudetto in 30 years. See, I just feel like they devalue African players so much. Enzo, Casedo, they never win anything. They never accomplish anything. You pay 100 million, 120 million for them. If that is the standard, then CMA is worth 200 million now. You are paying, they like to devalue African talent, and that's the reason why I like with CMA. The way that guy did, you know, go agree. If you know they pay him 400K a week, you know, go agree. To him, he don't succeed already. He don't succeed already. He don't build the house. He don't do everything he wants to.
So
that's what I'm saying.
Before you go, I just want to say something, just to correct you slightly. See, football is evolving. The football of 5 years ago is not the same football today. Requirements are changing. I can tell you for that. Football now, you know, let me tell you something. When you were talking, football was still.
Talk now, Smith Layi.
Okay, I don't know. He has left. Okay.
No, he's still here.
Okay, okay. Football is still slightly amateur when you were talking. See, why do you think Finidi George could lead the Nigerian league and go and play in Ayers? Because we still meet the requirements.
What requirements are you talking about? What requirements are you talking about?
See, the issue is this: there's some level. If you are into football, there's some developments that they require from a player of 16 years old. Go and read the new FIFA document for youth policy. See, they stated it out clearly there. That was last year policy that at the age of 17, you should be teaching kids this and this. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, but whose fault is that the kids are not getting taught at 17 and 16?
Individuals too. They also set up academies too to also do what? To also develop players. And I believe that some of these academies actually are not well controlled. They are also half-baked. See, I get what you are saying, but we are talking about the NFF. An individual can set up his football academy, good, but they are not in charge of the success of the football of Nigeria. The NFF is. You get what I'm saying? Just to make, I want to ask another question again.
Okay, Smith Layi, we have to wrap up. Yeah, 1 minute.
That, we don't perform well under 17 anymore.
The NFF.
Why is it the NFF? You just say this
because they are not okay. Number one, if I'm the NFF right now, right? Okay, we want to get the best under 17s in Nigeria. How are we going to do it? What happened to our inter-house sports? What happened to our primary level competitions? Where are they? Where are the PE teachers? Where are the gyms?
Sorry, AyoT.
I've been in. Hold on. What country are you in? What country are you in?
I want you to.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question.
No. I have to talk on this.
Okay, when if you are watching all these award show, when you are starting to talk too much, they start to play music in the background for you to leave the stage. You should talk quick.
How many schools have a playing pitch now?
But whose fault is that again? Who is responsible for funding all these things? It's the NFF. Look, I've been in America for 15 years now. Hold on. I've lived in both sides of the world. I've been in America now for 15 years. And most of the things, the equipment, the foundation, the plan, they are all done by the governing bodies. It's the governing bodies that does all these things, distribute the money to the schools and everything. This is what we want you to do. This is what we want to do.
Who is that governing body?
In America, it's the US I don't forget the abbreviation.
This for schools.
Everything is interconnected in America now. Yes.
See,
everything is interconnected.
See, this America to Nigeria now.
See, this conversation.
Yes, I will. Hold on. Okay,
guys,
can we talk?
This conversation is not going to end. We'll be live.
No, because he doesn't seem to understand.
Yeah. We'll be live again.
No problem.
We'll be live. We'll be live again. Same time next week. We'll be live here. In between the week, we'll for sure come on live on Instagram as well. But we're going to have the podcast again same time next week. So we can dive deeper into some of these conversations, just for the sake of time.
I'm coming for you. Don't worry, we'll talk about it again.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
I said last caller, but Mr. Adedotun has been popping in and out. So, Mr. Adedotun, I'll just, out of respect, because you are an OG on the channel.
Oh, 2 minutes. Or 2 minutes.
We'll give you 2 minutes out of respect. So let's just go quickly.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much for that. Like I said this, the last caller, it is not NFF that have facilities in place. It is the government. It's not football governing body that will put facilities in place. I live in America too. It is not USSF that is putting facilities in place. It is the government. So just get that one right. And like I said, we no longer have pitches in Lagos. I was born and raised in Lagos. All the schools in Lagos, we don't have pitches again. That's that. Please let me just say this. One thing I'm very optimistic of is that one, World Drum cried out, and because of what is happening between the sports ministry and NFF, I see that NFF will be scared to impose player on World Drum, because one, they don't want to see the wrath of sport ministry, and now they don't want to offend Nigerians because our World Cup qualification is hanging in the balance. So I'm sure they don't want to do that. And the last time I saw LMAB played was that testimonial match that they played. Like it was the same thing with Amaju Pinnick, a lot of them. That was the last time I watched him play. So he cannot say he wants to come to Olympics. All that one that was saying abusing people. He will abuse all of us, but still will not make it. That does that. And on the issue of Olisheh, he should understand. Today, Olisheh and Papa Olympiade, Olisheh doesn't touch Papa Olympiade. At least the distance between Papa Olympiade and himself is way higher than the distance between him and Mikel Obi. So there's what they say in Yoruba, if you do something to an adult, people like that look you up, come after you do the same thing to you. So see, he doesn't. I'm not speaking for him. I'm just like he's not talking about Mikel based on football. It's because now they are both throwing stones. That's why he's saying that. He knows Mikel is good or was good. He knows Mikel was there for national team then, but because they are throwing stones. But what we always say this, please watch what you do to people that are older than you, because the children that are coming, they'll do it to you. You should understand what he's doing somebody. Then on the issue of transfer, I don't know. But our advice Osimhen not to go to Arsenal, because he will not win even ordinary plastic cup. He's not going to win. He shouldn't go to Arsenal. He's not going to ordinary plastic cup. He's not going to win. He shouldn't go to Arsenal. He shouldn't go there. Then on the issue of players, see, Onumonu, World Cup will pick Onumonu and Olisheh. You know why? Because they are professionalism. We can complain. These people, they are complete professionals. They play to instruction. They listen to coaches' instruction. They don't give the coaches problem. I said something yesterday. I said, if Marcelo comes back to be coach of Nigeria Eagles, he will keep inviting Aribo and Co. Because these are people that don't give him headache. They obey, listen to instructions, not the people that will be talking to him anyhow. So we should understand that coaches want to go to people that follow instruction, because they are professionalism. That's what I need to say. And please, AyoT, I know you are pro Falcons. Please tell mommy what she has done well. She has served us. She please end it that way. She's not going to disgrace herself. She please. This is the only thing we have to share. Female sports is the only thing that's giving us joy now. Both the athletics and soccer. So they should please not. Like I said, politically we are not getting it right. Economically we are not getting it right. Even men's sports we are not getting it right. The only one that we are getting right, there's not going to spoil for us. So the person that is pushing NMLP to World Drum, that man, we know him, a former handballer. He should be careful. Is he offending us? So he should be careful. He should please be careful. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Adedotun. Thank you. I appreciate hearing from you. Okay, so on that note, guys, we're going to call it a night. Engaging another engaging episode of this. We've gone over the 2-hour mark. You know, we need to start sticking to 2 hours. So, guys, next week we have to stick to time.
Yes.
It's been a pleasure engaging with you guys. We appreciate it. If you're on YouTube, please, before you go, just make sure you like that video before you go. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss an episode. We have some fantastic interviews coming up on Eagles Tracker. On Friday, my interview with Bruno Onyemaechi is going live. Next week, I'm going to post an interview with Fortune Bassi. The week after that, I'm going to post an interview with Ebele Gucci. The week after that, I'm going to post another interview. So we're going to have quality conversations, quality stories, interviews, high quality content back to back to back to back. And of course, every week, same time, we're going to be having these live conversations where you can always chip in, let us know what you're feeling, what you're thinking as well. We didn't have time to talk about the ET Awards, but that's fine. We'll talk about it later. We have to kind of wrap up now. So Smith Layi, final thoughts before we go.
Yo, thank you. Another wonderful, 2 hours like 2 minutes. We don't know how time flies quickly here. I want to appreciate everyone for actually joining. Thank you. Because of you, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. This is the Naija FC Podcast on Eagles Tracker of Nigerian Football. Have a wonderful night.